It is the measure of our love for God which will determine our place in heaven. One does not know when the heavenly life of a soul with undivided love begins. The things of God should be done with much ardor and energy. The more you renounce your self-love, the more the love of God will enter your heart. The remembrance of Mary's love will enkindle your love for her. You would want to imitate her to please Jesus. The greatest thing in this world is an act of love. Fraternal charity is the fruit of love and joy. You will never be a lover of God without interior solitude. True fervor consists in fulfilling God's will promptly, without hesitation or reasoning, and with love, however hard it may seem to us. It is the love of God that gives value to our actions. In your afflictions and joys, lift yourself to God by an act of love. Love Mary. The piety that depends on her has something simple, sweet, and suave. Mary was assumed into heaven by an act of love. With that, like Mary, you could die for love of Jesus? The love that we have for Jesus is in the measure of our love for Mary. All other piety is illusion. I owe my vocation to Mary. I received this grace from Our Lady of Fourbet. Devotion to the Blessed Virgin softens every suffering, smoothens the most inexplicable difficulties. Love attains perfection when one becomes like the Beloved. There is no job too small in the service of God when one works for Him with love. The spirit of charity and unity will be your happiness in this world and in the next. To love God is to make Him reign as the sovereign in your heart. Religious life has its trials, its moments of extreme suffering, but love will help you to overcome them. A true religious is brief in her words outside the time of leisure and relaxation. She speaks only when charity and necessity demands it. A religious who has the spirit of our Lord is good, patient, renders service, and forgives always. Sanctity and perfection of a soul consists in her love for God. When divine love takes hold of a soul, she is stripped of everything else. A religious who loves much is silent because she speaks willingly only of that which she loves. She speaks about God and to God. Love of God cannot exist where there is no love for one another. You will attain true union with God only if you take pleasure in renouncing yourself and accept all sacrifices joyfully. You should be full of love and devotion towards one another and ready to render service mutually. The basis for our spiritual revival is goodwill. Its complement is love. Always acting with love is to begin on earth what the elect do in heaven, where all the other virtues disappear to make place for love of God and neighbor. Love is true and must be effective. All the more it should be effective as actions speak louder than words.